and make us sometimes dysfunctional, make us anxious, make us arrogant, make us weak, not help us to choose the most appropriate and powerful actions from our highest potential, but we may just function on autopilot. And this is again the teaching of mindfulness. When we are not aware, our mind slips into autopilot, where we are functioning out of habit patterns. And what are habit patterns? For example, I carried this because of the long-term conditioning in our family, and our habit pattern was, whenever you see a mistake by self or others, criticize heavily. Criticize. And that's how you can correct performance, right? This was the habit pattern in the family for a very long time. But now that is an unhelpful seed inside me. But what is an helpful seed inside me? In spite of somebody making a mistake, first remind yourself that the person hasn't done it purposely. Second, support. Use empathy. Help the person, the family member, to get out of the problem. And that is an helpful seed. And whatever we water something consciously every day, it is going to grow inside us. And if we don't pay attention, if we are unmindful, we are subconsciously, unconsciously watering unhelpful seeds. For example, another example of watering unhelpful seeds. I'm going to explain one example of one of my coachee, and or this is with everyone actually. Santosh that day pointed out, the missing tile syndrome, which means a lot of times. Let me give this example. I think I shared this, but I am going to share it again. So here's my friend, lovely, life is beautiful, everything is all right. She gets a lovely salary, ancestral property. She has 2 homes in Pune, and this person is looking for a potential life partner. And what happened was, one person called and she really liked him, and she thought something is going to happen with things are going to get further. Nothing happened. This person rejected her. For 1 month, she's watering unhelpful seeds inside her. I am not good. I am not beautiful, therefore people are rejecting me. And imagine if she keeps on watering that for 1 month continuously, and she says, I can't concentrate on my job. I used to go to the gym, I have stopped that. I love cooking, I have stopped that. I am only thinking, why are people rejecting me? Maybe mere andar kuch problem hai. And she's now stopped watering all those beautiful seeds, helpful seeds that are there inside us, but just one aspect. And so many times, friends, we do this, right? For example, sitting in this current situation at home, check, are we watering our helpful seeds or unhelpful seeds? And most of the day, probably few people at least, they're just thinking about, negative news, and what is going to happen, what will happen to my career, and what can I do, and maybe I'll lose my job or I'll lose my business. That is, you're not watering the helpful seed inside you. You're watering unhelpful seeds. What is going to grow out of watering those unhelpful seeds? Fear, anxiety, frustration, irritation. And in every area of life, whatever seeds we have watered, they will reflect. For example, if I've watered the seeds of listening mindfully to people, they will reflect in my friendship, they will reflect in my personal relationships, they will reflect in my leadership, they will reflect in I talking to my customers. If I've watered unhelpful seeds, that I will not be vulnerable, vulnerability is weakness, I will not share anything with anyone, then what is going to that do to me? It's not going to create a healthy emotional world. I will be locked up in my own emotional drama. I will not feel the freedom to share and build relationships authentically. Sometimes I'll be withdrawn from people. And there are many, many more repercussions of this, right? Watering an unhelpful seed. So I'm going to pause and allow all of you to have some comments or questions about, as I'm talking, are you able to see a bunch of helpful and unhelpful seeds within you? Okay, everybody's gone into nirvana or what? Okay, we start with, now I'm going to pick people to share. Now we start with Arti first, then Sushant, and then Ruchita.
Certain starting is a very beautiful example what you have told so that we get an idea of what is this helping seeds and everything. So this happens in our day-to-day life as well. So being more mindful, since I have been practicing this mindfulness, this has helped or made my life more peaceful.
And what is your reflection on helpful and unhelpful seeds? What are some of the helpful seeds that you see inside of yourself that you want to water more?
Learning more, the
Okay.
urge of learning,
Mm-hmm.
and mindfully helping or supporting the family members, as you said, because
Mm-hmm.
it's the instant reaction what we do. In your example, this happens in everywhere. Not only this, everywhere. So instantly help them rather than criticizing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a go-to goal. But what is your current inventory? Like we say, what is the current stock taking? That's a go-to goal that you're saying. But current, and this is what happens. See, we are at position A and we desire to go to B. But to be able to shift from A to B, we must mindfully also reflect. What am I watering within? For example, I'll tell you, I have watered anger for a very long time, and then I realized that it's becoming dysfunctional for me. Or sometimes I was also watering these seeds whenever I saw somebody, delivering a lecture and this, or doing a really good job. I used to first start looking at what could this person do better, rather than appreciating the person first. Then I started watering the seeds of, okay, let's focus on appreciating the person first, and then maybe if the person is willing, I can offer some coaching. But I don't have to start directly by saying that, okay, what is this person doing wrong? That is an unhelpful seed. Okay, sometimes, in the zest of speaking more, I used to cut people off. Unhelpful seed. Now what I do, if there's a tendency to cut people off, I'll just pause and take a breath. So I'm trying to water an helpful seed now. So everybody, let's just take a couple of minutes. Tell us couple of seeds that are unhelpful that you reflect, if you feel like, but definitely share what are the helpful seeds inside you that you want to water more. And if you're comfortable with vulnerability, you can also share what are the unhelpful seeds that you will not like to water more. So Aarti has shared. I'm looking at my screen, and on the right, I see Anand in front of me. So I'll go with Anand and then Sandhya.
Yeah. So one thing which I feel is, good seed is whenever there are like situations where something unfavorable thing happens or whatever decision goes wrong, or I always look into the positive aspects of it, like what could have been more wrong, but what happened right. I try to concentrate on the right things, and maybe many a times, as I said, now when I look back, I always see हाँ जो भी हुआ XYZ चीजें end of the day ठीक ही हुआ अच्छा तो I look into the good part. So ऐसा लगता है happy था, like for 13 years I worked into corporate. Always I remember was बहुत सही था यार, खुश था मैं 13 years में भी. Same in business also. So many a times हाँ एक वो question भी है for you. So कभी कभी क्या होता है, when we always look into the good aspects and forget what happened wrong. So कभी कभी हो जाता है कि फिर stagnancy भी आ जाती है, because in every situation, every aspect, if you are happy, you know can be a factor where sometimes you are stagnant also then.
This is very interesting. Okay, so let me just talk from two perspectives. One is psychology and human behavior perspective, and we talked a little bit about this in the earlier sessions. There is somehow a misnomer or a notion with us that when we look into our life or others' life with criticism and point that out very sharply, there's a possibility that we may grow out of it and we may develop. But do you also realize that there's other way to grow with compassion? And sometimes when you look at yourself or your own patterns with compassion and just realize that mindfully, saying that, here it is, that I am watering my seed of anger and it's not helping me. Now I have two choices. One is go beating myself hard. Oh my God, how can I be angry? I don't like this at all, and keep discarding myself and severely criticize myself. Or I can just realize that, okay, here is my unhelpful seed, which is of anger. I completely accept it because it is there. And by having self compassion and kindness, I can still improve. It is a wrong notion that when you beat people up hard, they improve their performance. No, there was a research done again with a group of people, sports people, and their performance level was first monitored, and then few people on a certain day lost the match, right? And there were few people on that day, they delivered amazing performance, but subsequently in the next match, the few people who lost the match, they improved their performance a little bit, and the few people who had won the earlier day, they dropped in the level of performance. It had nothing to do with harsh criticism, or but it was just, and it is called as regression to mean, which means an individual has the capacity to deliver a mean level of performance, and we regress to the mean. We come down and match our mean performance. So some people can have a very high threshold about it. And if you've watched the sports documentary, which I watch quite a lot, especially when people have failed miserably, they go back to their drawing rooms and the coach comes and says, guys, we can look at what we did wrong later. Let's just first acknowledge that we did work hard. That gives them the energy to come back, and of course then they can sit in the team meeting with kindness, compassion, a sense of connection with each other. They can still look at where to improve. There is a big research which suggests that if we display kindness for self and compassion, our performance shifts dramatically. We don't become pompous, we don't go into vanity, we don't place ourselves on the pedestal, but we become highly aware of very accurate self assessment, which is coming from very mindful space of contemplation. We are not exaggerating things, not making them worse than what they are, and not bloating them up unnecessarily. And that's the higher awareness that I'm talking about. Mindfulness, and through our sadhana, it is the refined awareness with which we perform. And then we realize, so for example, sometimes I realize if somebody appreciates my work, and if I go into my own dialogue saying that, yeah, I was in my zone and I was amazing and all that, I realize, okay, cool, I'm being pompous right now. And then just realize that's it. That awareness itself makes the shift. I don't have to be very highly self-critical all the time. Okay, so quickly, Sandhya, and I'll take 3-4 more people and then we'll move on. So quickly, in a nutshell, like we say, sometimes concise sharing is, I see these are my unhelpful seeds, these are my helpful seeds. Otherwise we can go into, पता है क्या, बचपन से मैंने बहुत सहा है, इसके लिए मेरे अंदर unhelpful seed है self criticism का, and all that. We can go into our winding stories.
Okay, so my helpful seeds are, I don't hesitate to be vulnerable. I don't hesitate to seek or give help. I'm very optimistic. These are my helpful seeds. And unhelpful seeds are, I'm very bad at receiving gratitude. I get financially pressurized very quickly. And I'm many times too straightforward to the extent that people find me blunt. And on certain issues, I do a lot of self-bashing. So these are my unhelpful seeds, and I'm surely not going to water them here.
What a wonderful reflection. Thank you very much. Santosh.
All right. So I think the my helpful seeds I have is I think I have a lot of patience. I think relationships I value a lot. They have today, right? I'm good at learning also stuff. The part I feel I'm not good at is if I dislike something, I generally would not say it on the face. I would hesitate a lot. मतलब अच्छी चीजों पे स्टेट होना आसान है, बट जहाँ पे अच्छी नहीं है तो उससे कि Chhodna. Let's just move on. So, I think that is one of the best right. I find it difficult to kind of shift the near in each other. Okay, the one. So that point of view, negative emotion is very difficult. Positive reverse also. That is something I feel is the negative seed I carry.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Priyanka.
Um, Positive seed will be to see the silver lining out of the dark cloud. So I try to do that, but it's a very conscious effort. It doesn't come to me naturally. So I want to water that more to see the positive side. What else? Gratitude. To have gratitude, it comes along with that. And the negative seed will be again the same thing, missing tile. I always see the glass half empty first, which I want to remove it. And another thing possibly is that I seek a lot of validation from others. Although I'm confident, but then subconsciously I always look for validation, and until that doesn't come, it makes me restless. So that is one unhealthy seed, I think.
Okay, thank you. Garima.
So healthy seeds would be I'm helpful in nature. I like helping people, um, and very clear in terms of certain thought. Unhealthy would be self-criticism, overthinking, and always looking at the glass as half empty. So I would not want to water these seeds, and I am vulnerable, and I would like to water it as a strength rather than thinking of it as a weakness.
Sure. Lovely. Wonderful. Ruchita.
In positive seeds, I can say that patience, learning as always, helping people. As far as negative seeds, you can say that lots of anger and blaming myself always for every failure or every situation in the life. And again, I'm very weak to give feedback to my close ones. If it's anything like wrong happen from their end, I'm not able to give feedback. It is like always like I'm not able to speak up anything if the person is totally wrong from their end.
Sure.
It's, again, I want to work out.
Okay. So I'm going to pause here, and the rest of the people can share towards the end of the session. But today, now again, specifically, we'll focus on one helpful seed. Okay, and I'm going to share again a little story. Well, I realized one day that I was walking to a store, and my mom had asked me to bring packs of biscuits, and I did not have a bag with me. So, and I had to hold 4 packs of biscuits. And I realized when I took those from the counter, I realized how important the thumb is in life. Because of the thumb, I could grip that, right? So I held those 4 packs of biscuits in one palm, and my thumb was supporting it. That moment, you know what I did? I just waited on the street in the corner of the shop, and I said, okay, God, thank you very much for keeping both my thumbs intact. So, and then one example came to me in my mind. For example, let's say all of us are earning 5 lakh rupees a day, 5 lakh rupees a month. For a day, some कुछ लोगों की आंखें बाहर आ गई. 5 lakh rupees a day. Oh my God! So, but imagine that your income is 5 lakh rupees a month, and one day a small nail is cut on your little finger. What will you celebrate 5 lakh rupees? That you earn every month, or will you be miserable with the small nail cut on your finger and it's hurting you? The mind possibly will go to the hurt, right? Oh my God, I wish my finger was all right. Oh my God, it's not all right. It's not all right. It's not a big deal. I mean, you're not bedridden, but still we would want this physical body to be in the best condition, right? What I'm referring to is that, and this is exactly the missing tile syndrome that I'm talking about. While 100 things are working in our life, we will focus on that one. मेरी नाक टेढ़ी क्यों है यार? I wish if that was like Aishwarya Rai's nose, no, I would have attracted a very beautiful partner. And some people are my weight, that is the problem, yaar. And keep on, brooding over it, complaining about it. Only if I had lovely curtains in my room. कुछ लोग उसके बारे में भी complain करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कल मेरा और मॉम को थोड़ा सा इंटेलेक्चुअल आर्ग्यूमेंट है, यार घर में ये ठीक नहीं है, ये करना चाहिए था, ये करना चाहिए था. आई सेड मॉम, God has given us the capacity to pay rent for a 2 BHK house, and therefore we should celebrate that first. If we didn't have that much of money, हम लोग को चौल में रहना पड़ता. So let's celebrate that first, and let's be grateful for that first, and then see what to fix in the house, right? So very easily the mind is very slippery. It will slip to these unhelpful seeds all the time, and especially sometimes when we start comparing our life with somebody else's life, we don't realize both our thumbs are intact. God hasn't taken them away. And then the constant comparison, constant anxiety, and we are feeding these unhelpful seeds. But one helpful seed that we can continuously feed or water in our life is the sense of carrying this gratitude. और जब मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, actually when I'm talking to you at this moment, पिछले 3-4 महीने में मेरे बिजनेस की बहुत वाट लगी हुई है. But every day I will wake up and say, thank you for at least giving me the capacity to think solutions for my problems. And there's a big research again. The way we think continuously will generate a subsequent emotion in our physical body. And that subsequent emotion will be the fire for our actions outside. Now, if we are continuously focusing on what's not working for me in life, and of course, I do understand sometimes we will be going through terrible things in life. For example, I always share this example. When I could see my father on the ventilator, I know he was going to die. I cannot be thinking of how grateful, how wonderful you are, God, for giving me this moment in life. No, I'm suffering. I'm miserable. But I'll tell you what. After my dad passed away, he was bedridden for the last 10 days of his life. He was suffering from cancer, 10, 15 days. But then I started listening to stories of people, and one of my acquaintances who had come to meet me after my dad passed away, she said, Nitin, we had booked one ICU room for 1 year in Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital, and my brother was continuously in and out of that room. And he was this big, broad, when he first got the cancer. And when he passed away, his weight was 39 kg. Tears started rolling down my eyes when I said, God has been kind in many ways. My dad was only suffering and bedridden for last 10 days of his life. Forget that. When I used to take him to the radiation, I saw a husband and a wife together coming to the clinic. Both had cancer. I have seen a mother holding a 5-year-old child in her lap and crying profusely because the child had cancer. Sitting at that clinic, I could only thank God. I couldn't say that, why aren't you saving my father? You've been brutal and all that. I realized there is God's hand, there's blessing in many ways, even though there was suffering. So I'm going to pause for a moment again. And let's just, you have all, again, the problem is, now this is our biggest problem. हाँ, अभी ये सच में सब लोग बताना ये सही है कि नहीं. कितने लोगों को पता है ग्रेटिट्यूड होना चाहिए लाइफ में? हाँ, सबको पता है ना. कितने लोगों ने भर भर के कंप्लेन किया है लाइफ के बारे में, इंक्लूडिंग मी. आई एम ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड इन दैट. अब यही प्रॉब्लम है. और ये कहता हूं मैं, इंटेलेक्चुअल वॉरियर्स है, हमें सब पता है. Now the problem, and this is where the knowledge of mindfulness is not about philosophy. It is about honest reflection and arriving at clarity. And in those moments, which are vulnerable, which makes our mind slippery, which makes our mind easily go to what is not working in my life right now and start complaining and comparing and feeling miserable. That is the time when you again use the power of your sadhana, the awareness that we have cultivated, to bring it into this moment. Okay, this moment I'm miserable. Now what do I water? Do I water complaining seed inside me? Do I water the seed of comparison and feeling jealous, or do I water gratitude? Like, for example, when my living room was full with water, literally water, and then I'm like, do I water anger to go through this problem? Do I water complaining? Do I water blaming? Or just be mindful and go through the unpleasant task also? I didn't like the task, of course, because it was too cumbersome for me. But because I was mindful, I could also go through it without complaining. Not that I was in the seventh heaven very happy, but I could manage it. Okay, so now so here is the thing, friends. And therefore, I keep on saying every day, even if you do it for 5 minutes, your sadhana will reveal this to you. Though there is a difference between intellectualizing something and internalizing something. There's a big difference. We can intellectualize things forever our life and never internalize it. So our greatest concern is, how do we internalize it? Okay, so let's just, for a moment, let's just do a small sadhana. First, we will do an open awareness mindfulness practice, and then I will lead you into mindful contemplation, and then let's see what insight comes into us. Yeah. Okay, so find yourself a posture which is comfortable and alert. And let's just take a deep breath. For those of you who do not know what is an open awareness mindfulness practice, I'm just quickly going to narrate. And for people who know, who have done this with us, you can be in your open awareness as I speak. So friends, open awareness practices, as we sit in a dignified posture, we just allow whatever comes into our awareness and we witness it without getting carried away with it. For example, if you are in your mindfulness practice and some thoughts come into your awareness, so you can just acknowledge that by repeating to yourself, I am thinking, or just acknowledge by saying the word thoughts. If external sounds or sounds around you come into your awareness, you just label them as sounds. If any bodily sensations grab your awareness, then in your mind you label them as sensations. If any images come into your mind or memories come into your mind, you just label them as images or memories. The intent of this practice is, while we can acknowledge anything that draws our awareness, we don't have to essentially get carried away with it. Because the moment we get carried away with it, now we are no more in the awareness. We have lost the awareness because we have got entangled with it. So this open awareness can be also thought of as, when we are driving, we have this open and fluid awareness in the rear view mirror, in the side mirrors, the traffic in front of us, somebody who wants to overtake. And with this fluid awareness, where we don't get stuck into any one object, we are able to drive seamlessly. So let's just for a minute now maintain this fluid and open awareness. And now, with your eyes closed, friends, let's explore gratitude from a thinking perspective, but also from a feeling perspective. And I just want you to think of one thing in your life which you can be truly grateful for. And when we are truly grateful for something, we don't justify it, we don't explain it, but we just feel it in our heart. So think of that one thing for which you are truly, truly grateful. Now, keeping that one thing in mind, it could be a person, it could be a resource, it could be somebody that came and helped you, one specific event. It could be a realization that shifted your life. It could be for your physical body. It could be for the skills, whatever it is. And now, when you think of that one thing that you're truly grateful for, with your heart, from the bottom of your heart, express gratitude. And sometimes expressing gratitude, if it is a person, then imagine that you are expressing it to that person. And if it is something else, maybe you can say, God, thank you very much for bringing this in my life. Let's just dive deep into expression of gratitude. And as you feel this gratitude, let's just bring mindful awareness of how gratitude feels in your physical body. Because we now know that emotions and feelings are arising physical sensations. So for the next 1 minute now, let's just explore, what does gratitude feel like in my body? Does anything change? Does the breathing change? The body temperature change? Or anything else? The body sensations? Let's just observe that. Let's take a deep breath now. And gently open your eyes. All right. Let's take a final few minutes for some comments and questions. Whoever is feeling inspired to share. Yes, Ninat.
Hi, sorry for joining late.
No problem.
Yeah, so the other day also I mentioned you, like along with mindfulness, I've been practicing this gratitude and affirmations and forgiveness. So, and especially the point that you touched today about feeling it. So that makes a lot of difference. Means actually in the morning time when I'm doing all these three activities, it like takes around 15 to 20 minutes. So I do it ekdam aaram se. Like no hurry, no gadbad, nothing, but just feel everything. Whatever I'm saying it, because I believe it, this has to be done. So it's a totally different experience. And after the end of the exercise, when I open my eyes, like I feel a lot relaxed. It's like कंधों पे से पूरा बोझ हट गया. मतलब I'm free. So that's all just I wanted to share.
Thank you very much. Yes, if you observed your physical body, and that's why I wanted to emphasize that just by being truly thankful, it is not just an act of intellectualization. It has a scientific basis to it. The moment we feel grateful, you must have felt your heart expanding, the breathing settling down, the body settling down. There is a physical effect, which means your body feels energetically invigorated. It also feels relaxed, and therefore, Ninat, you feel calm. And there's a psychological effect. You are again creating these neural pathways, consistently using them, and creating these patterns of pathways, which in our day-to-day language we can term that I'm optimistic. I look at the brighter side of life. But what you're doing is you're triggering those pathways by consciously expressing gratitude. And there's a saying, neurons which fire together wire together. So by consciously entering into these acts, we are making those neurons fire together, so that if we keep on doing it again and again, they wire together, and gratitude becomes a natural state of being. मैंने कितनी बार, I'll give you an example. लोग ना एक हफ्ते तक वो ढूंढते हैं इस हफ्ते कौन सा खाना खाने जाए. So they will look at Zomato reviews, then they'll look at other reviews, then they ask for other friends to recommend. और इतना सारा एक हफ्ते तक रिसर्च करके they go to this restaurant. पहला निवाला खाएंगे, वो पिछला वाला रेस्टोरेंट अच्छा था नहीं. How ungrateful. Continuously focusing on what is not working, and so many, and you won't believe. पता है, एक बार मैंने और मेरा दोस्त हम वो चैतन्य पराठा में खाना खाने के लिए गए, और उसको पसंद नहीं आया, मुझे भी इतना खास नहीं लगा. मैंने कहा यार ये पराठा इतना दिल्ली वाला नहीं है. लेकिन मैंने उसको बोला चल एक्स्ट्रा जो हमारे पास बचा है ना पैक करते हैं, मेरा सिक्योरिटी का बंदा है, आई लाइक हिम, आई विल गिव हिम फूड. I came and gave it to him, and then when I went to the corner store, and when I was walking back, I could see him, sitting behind this little cabin and eating that, absolutely relishing it. And next day he tells me, "Sir, बहुत बढ़िया था paratha." So for us, something that we discard, for somebody else, it can be food from heaven. Literally, So, okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else who feels inspired to share or ask a question? Okay, great. Then I can continue with my spiel. And my spiel is that I'm not going to tell you, make your gratitude list, wake up in the morning, think 5 people who you want to be grateful, or 5 things. No, you know all that crap, how to do it, right? It's just that ask yourself a question when you wake up in the morning. What helpful seeds do I want to water today? और मैंने एक साधना शुरू की है फॉर माई सेल्फ, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो माइंडफुलनेस साधना, एंड आई रेड दिस इन Thich Nhat Hanh's book. He said, there are many reasons for you to feel angry. There are many reasons for you to feel irritated. There could be many reasons for you to feel unhappy. But whenever you are angry, unhappy, maybe you can water a helpful seed inside you and just do this. Breathing in, I smile to my problems. Breathing out, I consciously relax. How beautiful! How powerful! So yesterday I had this little argument with my mother. I came into my room and I said, breathing in, I smile to my problems. Breathing out, I consciously relax. What that did was I went out and then I had a fruitful conversation. And I have started doing this as much as possible. I forget sometimes, but I keep reminding myself. So therefore, when I wake up in the morning, first thing that I'm doing is breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I relax and let go. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I relax and let go. At least for a few minutes. Then I'm not thinking of my EMI. Abhi 3 mahine watt lagne wali hai. Then I'm not thinking of my credit card bill which is going to come. Then I'm not thinking about clients se abhi business kaise leke aaye. I'm not thinking that there are 1 lakh trainers to compete in India. Mera guzara kaise hoga. Nothing. And when we are in gratitude also, we don't think of anything of that. For a moment, we create a separation between the worldly problems and we connect with the cosmic consciousness. And that is a simple mindfulness practice that all of us can do. We don't have to get stuck in the worldly problems. Is this going to pay off my EMI? No. But it is going to give me inner resilience to act in a way that I will attract more work. I will attract more possibilities. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Nitin, I have one
Question. Yes, please.
Yeah. So, gratitude and ways to feel good and feel thankful and all. You mentioned, and which you said we all are aware. But then something that you also taught was accept your situation and it's okay. You can feel bad and at times, because then see, when you're trying to be grateful, are we also not trying to fight that negative thought in us which is pulling us down? So now here I'm a little confused that should we like fight it and then suppress it, or then, and if accept it and let us go through the suffering, then for how long? Ultimately we have to reach that level of gratitude and peace. But then, can you just elaborate a bit more?
Sure, that's a wonderful question. See, we have to understand when we talked about emotions, what are emotions, especially strong tides of emotions? It is like the lower part of our brain, amygdala firing too strong. Okay, and that time when we are under emotional influence, the first thing that we have to do is soothe our emotions. And how do we soothe that? And therefore, exactly that's what I said. Mindfulness means meeting whatever is arising in that moment without judgment. So when I was clearing my living room of water, anger was arising. Did I meet that? Yes. Frustration was arising. Did I meet that? Yes. Amusement arose. Did I meet that? Yes. Did I get stuck in any of this? No. And because I don't get stuck but meet what is arising moment to moment, which is exactly what we did in this open awareness practice, it also now gives me a higher chance that I calm down my amygdala, soothe my emotions in the body, and then go to the prefrontal cortex, which is the higher abstract functioning of the brain. क्योंकि जब वाट लगी हुई है तब आप शायद ग्रेटफुल नहीं बन सकते, लेकिन जब once you recover, once you manage yourself, and therefore what we talked about, what is emotional intelligence? Self awareness. I am suffering, I am feeling angry, then self regulation, soothing myself by complete acceptance, not criticizing, self kindness. That's when your higher functioning of the brain will be recovered. But if you suppress all of this, don't allow yourself, and you'll keep on saying, no, I'm grateful, I'm grateful for my dad's cancer, I'm grateful for my dad's cancer, God will take care. No, you are now emotionally suppressing yourself. It will turn ugly inside you. So I'll give you an example again. For example, I remember that I was sitting outside the ICU and again crying, badly, because even the doctor had just revealed to us and all that. And then I cried and cried, and that's the only thing that I could meet in the present moment. It was suffering, intense suffering, because I could feel a sense of loss. And after all that happened, because I allowed myself to meet what is arising face to face, I also then, when I settled down, I said, God, thank you. At least you have given us the money to treat him in the best possible way that we can. So many people die on the street because of cancer. Cancer in India last year, figures were 55 lakh people die of cancer. But I can't reach to the higher functioning of self-awareness unless and until I have soothed myself with those emotions. So therefore, Thich Nhat Hanh says, what are these emotions that arise in us sometimes? They are crying babies. What do you do to a crying baby? You don't hit them hard. No, you then caress them, hold them closer, soothe them, offer love. That's what we have to do in that moment when suffering is arising. And when you suffer, and therefore I said this is called the art of suffering. And when we suffer in such a way, obviously then you will be also free from the suffering to be able to go into your higher intelligence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and but still now when you remember your dad, you said, right, sometimes while driving also, you
Yes.
tears just roll down.
Yes.
So now you've soothed yourself, right? And you're over it. But still sometimes when it hits you again,
Yes.
okay, then again we have to do the same thing, right?
See, I told you the other day also when we were talking about getting over the past. I said sometimes we feel that getting over the past means the past should not bother us at all. Okay, now here's the difference. For example, if my dad's memories don't bother me at all, then I'm like a dead person, right? Then nothing in this world will matter to me. So I said in some very, very important events, those memories will come up. For example, let's say if I'm driving a new car outside the showroom, and I remember first time when I bought a car and I asked dad to, break the coconut, and I saw tears rolling down his eyes, that memory will come to me. But now the question is, am I sitting at home depressed with these memories? Have I become dysfunctional completely? I'm not doing anything. The answer is no. So in the moment I will cry, the next moment I'll be thankful to God. The next moment I'll be angry at somebody cutting me off in the traffic. The next moment I'll be hopeful that I'll get a new order today. The next moment I'll be lustful. This is what is called as living moment to moment with awareness, which means do not set a preference for how your emotional world should function. It means just become aware and open up your sense of perception about life. हमारा प्रॉब्लम ये है, हम कहते हैं गेटिंग ओवर मतलब कोई भी चीज ने मुझे परेशान ही नहीं करना चाहिए लाइफ में, होगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि हमने देखा है बचपन से लेके सारे मेमोरीज हमारी बॉडी में है. So if you want to get over of everything of all that, then we should just become a dead stone. So moment to moment, many things will come up inside us. That does not mean we are weak. That does not mean we are stuck in the past. That just means that we are meeting whatever is arising in the moment without criticizing and judging it. And am I free from the past? Am I free from the past? Yes and no, both. Because the past doesn't depress me. It doesn't make me sit at home. It doesn't make me complain that I don't have my dad in my life. I have accepted the reality of life also, that this is the life cycle. Whoever we are with will pass away one day. They will not be a permanent entity in our life. Does that mean I should not remember him? No. They will come. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so again, the gist of this is that do not set your ideological, some nonsensical ways of ideologies of life ki getting over matlab abhi pura ban khalas sab kuch khatam. No, it's not that. So sometimes we make mistakes like this, that we set certain such dysfunctional ideology. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We don't know what damage it does to us. So for example, लोग एक बार प्यार में ठोकर खाते फिर आते जिंदगी भर किसी पर भरोसा नहीं करूंगा. क्या गंदा आइडियोलॉजी है ये. अब मैं किसी से सच्चे दिल से प्यार नहीं कर पाऊंगा. अरे come on यार. What are you trying to tell us? Which means the person who you will be with, you'll do this injustice to that person also, saying that I only loved one person wholeheartedly. Now my heart is close to love. क्या फालतू.
So that's for
Huh?
Shahrukh Arub's dialogue has spoiled.
एग्जैक्ट क्या फालतू आइडियोलॉजी। एंड देन फिर किसी से भी प्यार मत करिए, फिर अकेले रहिए जिंदगी भर। लेकिन जब आपका दिल एक लेवल पे पहुंच जाएगा, नाउ आई एम फुल्ली रेडी टू फॉल इन लव एंड लव होल हार्टेडली, देन गो एंड लव। बट डोंट हैव दीज आइडियोलॉजीज कि अभी नहीं। फिर लोग मेरे पास आते, एक को ना मैंने काउंसलिंग में पूछा, आई एम जस्ट गोना एंड इन नेक्स्ट 5 मिनट्स। काउंसलिंग में पूछा, मेरा दिल बहुत टूटा है, आपको नहीं पता। मैंने कहा चलो, कितने लोगों ने दिल तोड़ा आपका? नहीं, आपको नहीं पता मेरे दिल पे कितनी चोट लगी। मैंने कहा नंबर तो बताओ, कितने लोगों ने तोड़ा है? नहीं, मैं अभी किसी से प्यार नहीं कर सकती लाइफ में। मैंने कहा अरे यार, मेरे सवाल का जवाब तो दो, आपका दिल कितने लोगों ने तोड़ा है? मैंने बोला 100 लोगों ने। अरे क्या बात कर रहे हो, 100 लोग? मैं तब तक मैं जिंदा ही नहीं रह पाती। अच्छा, 10 लोगों ने तोड़ा है? नहीं नहीं, लेकिन मेरा भरोसा उड़ गया है इस दुनिया पर से। मैंने कहा यार नंबर तो बताओ, 5 लोगों ने तोड़ा है? अरे नहीं यार, 1। और ये अभी पूरी आइडियोलॉजी लेकर बैठे हुए हैं कि अब मैं जिंदगी में किसी के ऊपर भरोसा नहीं करूंगी। आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट सम एक्सपीरियंसेस कैन बी पेनफुल, बट दैट इज व्हाट इज माइंडफुलनेस, टू सफर द पेन एंड लिबरेट योरसेल्फ and not get stuck into a dysfunctional ideology saying that I will only live like this. Because you know what, life may throw amazing amount of surprise, that some wonderful person will walk into your life again, and you will go through the entire process all over again, and you will come back in the counseling and say, I again lost my heart, I had told myself I will not trust anybody in my life. ये कैसे हो रहा है मेरे साथ में? Because you are stuck in, dysfunctional ideology. Okay, so cool. So let's just now do a small meditation, again watering that lovely helpful seed inside us, which is of the potential to reach happiness, bliss, contentment. And I'm going to again lead you into a small practice, and then we'll close the call. Okay, so find yourself a posture which is comfortable yet upright. And let's just bring our attention to our breath by keeping your attention either at the tip of your nose or just feeling your belly rising and falling with the in breath and out breath. And as you breathe in, as you observe your breath going in, you can repeat this silently in your mind. Breathing in, I smile. And as you observe the breath traveling out, you can repeat in your mind, breathing out, I relax and let go. Let's just do this for 1 minute. Breathing in, I smile. And breathing out, I relax and let go. And make sure when you do that, you have this gentle smile on your face, very consciously. Let's take a deep breath now. And gently open your eyes. Okay, friends, so I think this is our last session to be able to, in terms of discussing various topics, and I hope you're taking back something which will help you water your helpful seeds. And my hope is that you just don't keep this as information, but keep this as uh, a path towards self-awareness, which means, and it's only going to happen through your own sadhana, and it has to be the first preference according to me. But I encourage you to make it as one of the preferences in your life, because otherwise, all that we know, between information and transformation, there's a big space of internalizing and acting on it. No information can help us to transform if we don't truly submit to the process. So therefore I thought that we've done this for 12 days consecutively. There's a lot of information that we've shared, but the essence is deep diving into our own sadhana and see what's arising. And I'm sure your higher intelligence is going to help you reveal much more than what the information in these sessions have helped you unfold. And that's the higher potential that we can tap with the power of mindfulness with each one of us. Okay. And without any doubt, it works for everyone who submits to the process, without a doubt. So Ninad has raised his hand quickly. Yes.
So actually, I have missed a few of the sessions. So how do I know like what I have missed?
We will send you the recordings. I have converted everything into podcasts. So we will send you the podcasts where you'll not see any of the faces, because people are scared it will go on Instagram and all that. So we'll send you a podcast. I have all of them saved with me. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, just to close, I really want to thank each one of you very sincerely from my heart. You've been instrumental for us to help us to contribute in these times when we are thinking, what do we do sitting at home? But all of us came together, and I still remember the first session that we did. You are leaving me with lovely, pleasant memories, and you've been partners with us in our journey towards being more mindful, especially in these times where we require to take over our own anxieties, fears, and also at the same time be mindful about how we can contribute for others. So thank you very much. Most of you have been consistent. I was tracking for the last 12 days. We had around 40 people come and go. And it's been a lovely experience. And we'll be happy to contribute towards anyone who wants help. And if anybody in your circle wants to learn more about mindfulness, how these practices can help, I'll be more than happy to contribute.
Thank you so much, Nitin.
Thank you so much, Nitin. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And there's one thing that I want to announce is that we're going to soon launch mindfulness course for students, where we might allow one parent to attend along with the student, and from the comfort of their homes they can learn, student and one parent, how mindfulness can help students to be better in terms of improving their concentration, managing disruptive emotions, being more collaborative with their friends, and overall well-being. Yeah. So if you know anybody who has children who can be helped and who are willing to explore, please reach out to us, and let's see. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Nitin. Bye.